We hold these truths to be self-evident that all men are created equal and they are endowed by their creator with certain unalienable rights, that among which are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Good evening, I'm Mills Lane, and this is American Culture Topics. And yes, all that stuff sounds good, doesn't it? But what happens when you have your equality and you use it for bad? Well, let's just say you have the same footing as the other person, but what are you doing with yourself? That is the question. Um, are you going to do the best you can and make something out of yourself? Or are you going to continue in the American history and steal from somebody else? And that's what our topic is about tonight. We're talking about stealing ideas culture. And we'll tap into just how American it is. But I see some comments. So let me check out the chat first. Mike Weary first. So salute to Mike Weary. Mike Weary is known around these YouTube parts for being a stand-up guy. Mike, from what I know, is out the Buffalo area, and we've seen them on. I've seen you on plenty of platforms, sir. Um, all I can say, from what you say, you do what you're supposed to do as a man. So we salute you over here at American Culture Topics. If you would like me to plug anything, let me know, and gladly plug what you got going on. Salute to Mo Brown in the house. Don Philly was popping. Big 72C in the house. All right. So we all up in here, and thank you all for joining, because we're talking about stealing ideas topic today. And before I get into any more plugging, I just want to mention that American Culture Topics is always being sponsored by Wash While You Work. Wash While You Work on Instagram at Wash While You Work. Also on the internet, washwhileyouwork.com. Yes, what does it do? Well, you go to work and you leave your car, and if you're scheduled, that car can get washed while you're doing your work. It's called time management. It's called being a model adult. So, servicing the Charlotte, North Carolina area, wash while you work. Man. So we got the interest today. We're talking about how people steal. Oh yeah, of course. And the other show that is on this channel is The Lane, and you never know what's going to happen on The Lane. For instance, this week's episode, we had Trap Gardner, former co-host of American Culture Topics, stop by. So, and it looked like folks were enjoying themselves watching the show. Oh, I forgot I can't do that. Okay, so it looked like folks were enjoying themselves watching the show, and it's great. So I'm just glad that everybody's, and I see folks in the chat talking to each other and having fun. And yeah, this is a fun place, but we got some work to do here. So yes, The Lane, it comes on. It should come on at least once before Thursday. If it doesn't, then the old boy was out here lacking. So The Lane. But yes, American as apple pie, just stealing ideas from people. It's just something that we just it's just been accustomed to, whether it's something like, I'm gonna go into slavery time. So picking cotton was like the thing, and picking cotton was all that, it was the major crop during slavery. So the slave owners, of course, they wanted to, have the slaves pick as much cotton as possible. By doing so, they initiated different types of tactics, whipping, belittling, buck breaking, whatever you know, and things of that nature. Um, so one day, a slave by the name of Eli Whitney, he created an invention called the cotton gin. And what this cotton gin did was it kind of sped up the process because if you never picked cotton before, it's like a crop, so you have to pluck it off of the off the plant, and then make sure there's no seeds or anything, so it can then get processed later. So with this cotton gin, what it did was it drove up production of cotton. So the slaves didn't have to pick it and pull it apart. They could just do it, and a lot faster, by just plucking them, putting it in the bag, and then it goes to the gin. So it it was an invention. Um, but as far as the idea being stolen, that's part of where we come into when we talk about other members of what we call the people who have things stolen from them. So if I hold on one second while I look for this picture. So this is George Washington Carver. Okay. And George Washington Carver was a scientist, and his claim to fame, from what we all know, was that George Washington Carver uh, did a lot of things with the peanut, as he was able to create things. Of course, the easy one is like peanut butter, but other uses for the peanut, understanding that peanut has a huge source of fat, and pretty much flammable. So he had these inventions, and one of the saddest things about the whole thing of slavery and the way black people were treated in this country was all terrible. But what was real sad was when they found out that uh, a black person had knowledge. They wanted to shut down knowledge as fast as possible. So George Washington Carver was castrated. I'm pretty sure everybody knows what castrated means. Uh-huh. Yeah, salute to John Hamilton was popping. And yeah, peanut oil, damn right. And it's you don't hear about George Washington Carver's brand of peanut butter. You just won't. You just won't hear about George Washington Carver's brand of peanut oil either. And it's kind of what the just understanding this intellectual property aspect of all of this stuff. So, what is intellectual property, you ask? Well, intellectual property is a work or invention that is the result of creativity, such as a manuscript or design, to which one has rights for, which one may apply for a patent, copyright, trademark, etc. Okay, so when we're talking about intellectual property, I want to keep it in mind that these are the rules of America. Uh, a black man is behind Jack Daniel's whiskey. Funny you bring that up because I was working on that a little bit earlier, and so I will walk right into that, Mr. Hamilton, so that we were on the same page. So what you're looking at here is a picture of the inventor of Jack Daniel's whiskey. So how does it look over here? Okay, just making sure. So you have two people circled there. One is Jack Daniel, right? The other one is another man, Nearest Green. Do you hear that name? Not, I'm not too familiar with that name, but I'm just learning. Oh no, it's cool. We all up in the we up in the educational sphere, Mr. Hamilton. We good. So yes, Nearest Green here, who's standing right next to Jack Daniels, is the person who actually invented the whiskey. But again, what is we talking about? This culture. This culture here is called stealing ideas culture. So this is American here. It has been American since we can remember. I know I'm pretty much been in the early years of slavery and even in the early 1900s, but this is exactly what our topic is about today. So it is interesting. This was a 150-year-old country. Excuse me, 150-year-old whiskey. This Jack Daniels. So to keep going, get everything back on. Ha ha ha. Jack Daniels is the white guy with the white hat on. But yeah, and it's not the it's not a black and white thing where black people invent something and white people steal it all the time. Not all the time. We're gonna go majority, yes, but we're not gonna go all the time because there's 1 second. So excuse me, but yeah, it's not always a black and white thing. Sometimes, um, we can steal from our own selves. For instance, somebody tell me what's going on here. I said the hip hop, the hippie to the hippie to the hip hop. You don't stop. A rocket to the bang bang boogie. Say up jump the boogie with the rhythm of the boogie to be. Let's give you the beat back. Let's see what. Let's see we do. But guess what? America, we love you. We steal from you. We take the stuff. We do it good. We do it rough. We make up rhymes. We make up rhythm. We don't care who is listening. We just doing it. Just doing it. Do it. Do it. Do it. How about that, y'all? What's up with good times, man? What's up with what's up with good times from Chic, being like this beat, this sample was just fire. There goes some fire right there. Fire. Fire. And the sample. The sample is stealing ideas culture, people. Let's not front here. The sample is stealing ideas culture. All right. And no more prevalent of a stealing ideas culture than hip hop music. Um, Anybody who knows Star Troy Terrain, he used to hate hip hop music just because they stole from Chic, and that's his group right there. And that's he loved them. And the first time he probably heard Sugar Hill Gang, he probably threw up. And that's not the only song, of course, that Chic's music was taxed to, but there's been other artists, James Brown. There's been tons of artists over the course of time that before hip hop started, and it basically was a lot of love for break beats and the way that the break came, and then the DJ could make that loop, and once the DJ was able to loop it, they were able to make music as long as you had a nice wordsmith like a Mills Lane or HB2N that can rock the mic right, then you good, right? But yes, hip hop has been stealing. And it starts as stealing because a lot of times the artists or the producers, they didn't think they had to pay anything. So over time, all of that's got to pay. Even I now have to pay for using that instrumental loop, because Nile Rodgers and them, they're gonna come after me. They're gonna say, "Hey, we got a claim to this video because you were stealing from us." I didn't have y'all singing, but that was our music. Okay. So intellectual property understanding and the theft in America. But yes, this is an example of I say black stealing from black, but of course, not to be outdone. We'll get to you later, Mr. Monopoly. All right, I went the wrong way, maybe. Remember this guy? His name is Chuck Berry. Chuck Berry, rock and roll extraordinaire. Okay, what made Chuck Berry special to me was the fact that he started the incorporation of making sure that he can, he jamming on the guitar and he dancing and he getting everything. He's getting everything. You can buy Nearest Greens whiskey. That's what's up. Salute to DJ Carl C. That's what's up. That is what's up. And yes, Nearest Green was the inventor of Jack Daniel's whiskey. And but Chuck Berry here, and a host of other black musicians early on. You got Little Richard out there, BB King. Trust me, a lot of things they do have been copied over time. And when you see somebody like Elvis, when I see Elvis, I see Chuck Berry. All right. Ain't nothing new under the sun. See, that's not true, Mr. Hamilton. I would say that look at music itself. Music itself was able to grow and over time. No one really sounds like what's that guy name? Amadeus, Wolfgang, Mozart. Nobody really sounds like that anymore. Not too many people sound like Chuck Berry anymore, actually. There's a couple that still dance with their guitars, but not as much. So it's just, it's possible that you're right, but to continue and grow, We have to have these rules about I did it and they didn't do it. Oh, oh, I agree with that. That's what makes it a culture. Big facts. Yeah. So, getting back to Chuck Berry, I don't have much on Chuck Berry. I did not pull up any Chuck Berry music. Like I said, his music, Little Richard music, a lot of their music contributed to what would become the newer rock and roll. I see Jackie Wilson. Okay, Jackie Wilson. Good point. Good point. Good point. Yeah, crazy joke. Okay, gotcha. So we are at the midpoint mark. I'm gonna drop a quick commercial for the lane, and I will be right back. Trust me, they quick. So Monopoly is another thing I didn't even know about. I didn't even know about. John Hamilton. I saw that movie for I think Beyonce was in this movie. I forget who she was. Etta James. Yeah, they had Chuck Berry. I think he was loving on the white girls. But hey, they the reason why we still in America. I'm not gonna lie. We'll figure that out together one day. Monopoly. What is Monopoly doing in here? You telling me that this game was stolen? Stolen? I can't believe it. Yes, a woman invented Monopoly. A progressive woman by the name of Elizabeth McGee in 1903. The game was called the Game of Owners. It was used to demonstrate the tragic consequences of land accumulation. Um, but Charles Darrow claims he put a different name on it and kept it pushing. We have other inventions like from that time, like the sewing machine. Um, you think of the Singer Corporation when you think of sewing machines, Singer sewing machines. Yeah, but this idea did not come from Isaac Singer and his family, but they had to end up paying Elias Howe, who had to sue and receive royalties. Just a stealing behind culture, ain't it? What about the TV? Huh? Want to talk television? Um, you would think that Vladimir Zaworkin, who works for the RCA company, but the actual patents went to Philo Taylor Farnsworth. Got 165 patents, and a lot of it, goes to the television. So this is and yeah, this stuff goes to court. Um, and yeah, once I can prove that I had it first, then I'm the one that's gonna get it. Elvis stole Lil Walter song, "My Babe Don't Stand No Cheating." Dang, hey, it's gonna keep coming. Salute to Miss Playful. GE, please watch the history of rock and roll or just visit the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Yeah, you got it. You got it. Cleveland, Ohio. You know what? That's a nice trip. And I think Biggie is getting was Biggie this year or last year? Biggie's getting an introduced to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Oh man. So salute to Miss Playful. I had this DJ, I had this. I forgot about this. I was supposed to get a picture, but I was thinking about it. Yes, The Matrix, man. Uh, you know, the Matrix movie came out, and it was they were talking about the Wachowski brothers. They said they the ones that did the movie, but what it turns out that um Sophie Stewart, yeah, I remember her name. She wrote the books about the Matrix, so it's actually another book, and they're gonna have to use her content to create the movie. So yes, that's very interesting. I looked her up in Black History Month a couple years ago. So yeah, stolen ideas. It just don't stop. What about salute to whoever is watching on Facebook. Um, but yes, Facebook itself was a stolen idea. Did you know that Facebook, Mark Zuckerberg, who was in Harvard, um, his i- his idea actually came about while he was in Harvard as a sophomore. Anybody who's seen a movie called, I think it's called The Social Network, but there were twin brothers that helped him and another person. And in 2007, all three of them received a payment from Facebook to help alleviate tensions between their former classmates. I believe the first name of the show was called. I mean, as far as the first name of the Facebook was the Harvard Connection. So they were trying to get it together. Sisters, I'm lost. I shouldn't be paying attention. Monopoly created from Jersey. Yeah, it's supposed to. The street names resemble the streets in Atlantic City. Uh, hey, you know what? Because I wasn't gonna say nothing, but since it's in the chat, yeah, didn't he? Pretty interesting day today. How because I was giving the guy his props. I'm like, oh, you you in the Clyde, huh? I'm like, okay. I was giving the fella his props until she said they didn't happen. So, ugh, hmm, stealing ideas. They're now the Wachachi sisters. Oh, hold on. All right. HB2N caught me off guard with that one, and salute to the Wachachki sister, according to HB2N. Okay, yeah. Yes. Theft. What makes one want to steal? I always like wondered what makes one want to steal. What is what is it about taking an idea from somebody and like that person is still there? Like I understand like Thomas Edison and the light bulb. His is a little bit different because the guy pretty much brought it to his attention. He act like he didn't care. And this is kind of what happens in the business world a lot. Um, a lot of ideas are brought forward in the business world, especially in meetings, and it's like levels of who can sit there and say, that idea is stupid. And they may say something like, oh, that's dumb. That doesn't make any sense. And then 2 years later, or a year late, not even 2 years, a year later, and the idea is brought up by somebody who was there who knows that this other person said it, but they bring it up and acting like it was an original thought. Um, Salute to Cliff Bravo. All right. Is it laziness? Laziness probably is the cause of all of this. It's how lazy people can get instead of doing the work their damn self. They out here just taking it from other people. Yeah, if I have an idea, like I'll be nice. On this YouTube stuff, I kind of let the ideas fly, especially if I care. I'm watching your program. Like there's Dana. Dana might be on right now. Dana has a show with this guy named Gene Richmond, aka Number Nine, and they do a show. They were talking about we need a name for their show. And so I was like, okay, let's call it MAGA dose, where because he's a MAGA guy and she likes the ADOS, and I just like I took the A and like fused the words, and she liked the actual idea, and I'm like, yay! Now, did I charge her for it? No. Should I have charged her for it? No, because I felt as though that intellectual property has no bearing on me whatsoever. I like ADOS. I don't like MAGA like that. And I wouldn't want to do a show with somebody who wants to talk MAGA. So that intellectual property given to Dana, and she's able to take it, trademark it, and run away with it. And I didn't have a problem with it because I was just trying to be helpful. And it wasn't stealing because it was basically, hey, ask for help, got the help, and she gave me my credit. So I don't have any issues. What is going on in here? Oh, okay. No shame allows people to steal. Big fact. Yeah, that's why stealing is on one of the 10 commandments. Even the 10 commandments got one for stealing. And like I said, whether it's rap samples, rock and roll styles, we're not talking about it, but you can talk about hairstyles. You see a woman wearing her hair, with a blonde, her hair is blonde and long, and then somebody decides to go get a blonde long hair wig, or you see a woman wearing Bantu knots. At this country, you'll see Bantu knots and being worn for other people as well. So shame, big for views. Oops, my bad for money. Yes, stealing ideas for money, big time. We have the National Football League, NFL, very popular. So the XFL. Oh, excuse me, I apologize. The XFL is a league that pretty much used the same principles as the NFL, but they made some tweaks because if they didn't, and they had their game exactly the same as the NFL, they would have got sued for intellectual property. Number 9. So proud of Dana. Yes, yes. Salute to Dana. All right. What has Dana done? Dana do shows, Mike from Boston. Dana put some shows up. Dana be out here. Dana got what's his name? Judge Joe Brown. She got Judge Joe Brown on lock right now. And Dana got other shows. Got the ladies show. I don't know if that's still going on. Yeah, trust HB2 in on this one. So stealing, stop stealing. Um, what is this? Biblical stealing. Jacob stole Esau birthrights. Whoa. Yeah, that's some biblical stealing right there, bro. All right. So, did I run through everything real fast like I usually do? Now that I don't have a co-host, I think I did. All right. So, do I have any more that I want to cover that I'm just saying this theft, even the phone was theft. The telephone, Alexander Graham Bell. It was two people racing to do it, Elijah Gray and Alexander Graham Bell. They both filed their patents on February the 14th, 1876. So they that's that legal stuff right there. I don't feel like touching. I'm gonna leave that alone. But yes, intellectual property and stealing ideas has been in American culture for quite some time. How do we stop it? Well, first of all, we got some more. David stole Bathsheba from his shoulder, even had him killed. Wow. Oh yeah, David was doing some foul stuff. I don't like hearing about David. Hold on. Disclaimer from the Stealing Ideas. This ain't got nothing to stealing ideas. I don't like David too much in the Bible because he's a real jerk. He's a real jerk. He's just killing, causing mayhem and craziness. But David wasn't no punk. So David always rose to the occasion. David was a cool dude because he stood up, fought, and he handled business knowing that you're wrong. And you look up and say, God, yeah, I'm down here tripping. I'm down here tripping. Please. And that's how David becomes so great because he knew he had to give it up. I'm gonna stop right there. I ain't gonna go too far into that. That's enough. But yes, this is definitely just stealing from people. Stop it. Stop it. That's right. That's right. He murked. That's why I say he stood up. Wasn't no punk. Say Goliath. That's just a man over there. That's how it is. That's just another man. He same way he can go down. Everybody can go down. As I am definitely against the stealing of ideas, especially in the workplace. I think that it's not fair. Oh gosh, I keep forgetting. I can't do that. So I think it's not fair that you that people subject have to deal with people like this, where they steal your ideas and they don't give you. If you may not get the credit, or you're stuck. Wonder what the. I'm having a bad day, y'all. Excuse me. You're stuck wondering why it didn't go the way it was supposed to go. It happens because this is an American culture. So, oh my goodness, I don't have a picture for the next one, so I'll have to start doing something things in the background. As far as the solution, um, the best thing we can do is hope that the laws continue to be favorable to people. I say whatever you do, keep your ideas together. Keep things in order. Don't let somebody, if you have an idea, keep it to yourself. Somebody like me, I used to give away $1 million ideas, um, because I knew I didn't want to put the work in. That laziness that Mo Brown was talking about earlier. Maybe I experienced some of that laziness. And what I learned is to stop. So what we can do is continue with this lesson. Here we go. Hey. So what we can do is continue with this lesson and continue, I should say, to take care of the things we need to take care of, which is our mental health. Oh, goodness. Can't do that. Our mental health and the best things that we can worry about. Here we go. Fake STD versus fake coochie getting. I don't know what boardroom those people come from. I'm gonna let that go. Hamilton, I'm gonna let that go. You taking it somewhere. I don't feel like going. I'm gonna keep myself safe. So this is, and salute to whoever, everybody watching on Facebook. I greatly appreciate you. Um, and this was Stealing Ideas Culture. Um, did I ever give a solution? I basically said make sure you keep your ideas to yourself. Don't let people, that you trust. Just don't even trust nobody. It's just an idea. If you believe in it, if you think it's going to get the job done, then you do your best to keep it to yourself. No need for anybody else to know your idea. May you prosper off of it. And now I'm going to finish on that topic as we move into this day in history. I would like to sponsor this segment one day, but this day in history, I don't have any pictures. I'm mad. So this day in history, November the 5th, 1994, George Foreman becomes the oldest heavyweight champion by knocking out Michael Moore. So I was reminiscing on this day. Oh my goodness, was I starting high school? I can't remember. So definitely, I know it was a Saturday, and the fight was on. Was the fight on TV? I think the fight was on regular TV. And Michael Moore was the champion. He's 26 years old, and he was fighting George Foreman. I think this was his third. This was his third title defense, and the fight was going okay. It seemed like Foreman wasn't going down, but Moore was doing his job. All he had to do was pretty much like stick and move. I heard Michael Moore's yeah. I heard Michael Moore's corner telling him to stick and move. But what we're about to see was a fail at sticking and moving.
put this guy down, baby, you're behind. Well, I think George Foreman, the punching preacher, would say amen to both of those sentiments. I'm sure he knows he's behind, but one wonders, has he got what it takes to put his man down? Somebody complaining that there's a little bit of water on one of the fighters. Certainly there's plenty of sweat trickling down the face of George Foreman. This is his first contest, remember, for some 17 months since he lost to Tommy Morrison for the WBO title. Foreman, too, has been in with Evander Holyfield. He lost to Holyfield at the age of 43 in April of 91 in Atlantic City over 12 rounds for the undisputed title. WBA, the WBC, and the IBF. WBO not really around at heavyweight level in those days.
So he's kind of moving.
Moore coming forward yet again. He looks to be comfortably ahead in points. And Foreman's left eye, although there's no serious cut, is closing very rapidly. And once again, it's the...
Ooh, he took that one right to the chin. And he still want to stand there.
The left of Foreman. And it's a rather laboured round this for Big George. Out of the glove for the challenger, former champion George Foreman. And he does look
Yeah.
a little bit on the weary side. Or perhaps it's,
I don't know. I'm trying to be like this when I'm 45 years old. I don't know about y'all.
Moore's corner. Well, they must be reasonably pleased, but offering some advice.
Just get out the way, kid.
Oh, what a shot! Oh my goodness! Oh, the left and then the right to the point of the chin, and Moore's down. Joe Cortez pushes Foreman back, and his lip is cut. He's not going to make it. Michael Moorer is going to lose the title on the very first defense, and George good grief, goes down in supplication. The impossible dream, they said it was, and George Foreman has done the impossible. Michael Moorer doesn't really know what has gone on.
He's like, I don't know, y'all.
Right hand, and here it is again. He was told not to expose himself.
Ooh, right there. He should have got out of there. Wow.
Absolutely perfect shot. It traveled about 6 inches, that right hand, and down went Michael Moorer, and his world and his dream shattered. 3 seconds of round number 10. The winner, and once again, heavyweight champion of the world,
And that was a rich history recap. Still the oldest heavyweight champion. I don't know if that's going to be done. And yes, Cliff Bravo, Apollo's training total sticky move. But Apollo was kind of like, nah, man, I'm in Philly. I gotta kick this dude ass. And, and it just didn't work. It just didn't work. All right. So that happened today, this day in history, November 5th, 1994. So we have around 10 minutes. So I did a better job, I think, than last week. Last week was harder because I didn't like talking about that fight. Did I see the documentary for Foreman? No. It's interesting that he has like 5 kids or 4 Georges named after him. All 4 or 5 of his sons named George, and you got the Georgetta. George Foreman will be known to all American households by putting his name on what is called the George Foreman Grill, at invention, somebody's invention, and dang sure George didn't sell. George sold the crap out of those things, and he made a lot of money. Maybe he invented it. I don't know. I'm not sure. I don't have the details on that, but it was another great idea. Michael Moore was 35-0 before that. Fell off the face of the earth after that. Wow. So yes, that's what we do here in American Culture Topics. We deliver the topics and we show you how it relates throughout American culture, no matter how many years. For we've been on this, Americans been here for about 200 and some years. So we're not counting that colony time, but that is American Culture Topics. I am Mills Lane, saying thank you for joining this week. Special shout out to Trap Gardner for joining me on the lane yesterday. That was a great treat. And it should quell any of the lingering tabloid nonsense saying that we're at odds, because it never was. Also, I'd like to thank Watch While You Work for sponsoring the show. I would also like to thank each and every one of you guys that have come through today and checked out the show. American Culture Topics, Still in Ideas Culture. At the same time, we still do not know who the President of the United States is as we speak on November the 5th, 2020. But it's 2020, so what you expect? And finally, got a comment. Best grill. Oh, okay. George Foreman Grill. Facts. All right. So what I'm going to say now, thanks for joining me here on American Culture Topics. I'm Mills Lane saying thank you, with liberty and justice for all. Everybody, have yourselves a great night.